Hello, and welcome to the Church Revitalization Podcast, brought to you by the Malfers Group team, where each week we tackle important, actionable topics to help churches thrive. And now, here's your hosts, Scott Ball and AJ Matthew.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 70 of the Church Revitalization Podcast. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. Happy New Year. We're almost there, just a couple days away.
There, we are in the lull between Christmas and New Year's as we record this morning on a wonderful Tuesday morning. And we are looking forward to 2021. We're going to keep this episode quick for you guys too. We know this is a weird week for you, right? I don't know. It's just weird. Christmas is done, but there's still another Sunday coming. New Year's is coming and schedules are off and people are not all in the office, but we just wanted to spend a few minutes with you and be the first to say Happy New Year and make sure that you're excited about 2021 because we are.
That's right. So today, in this really brief episode, we just wanted to talk about one key thing that you can do to get ready for 2021. Stay tuned to the very end. Again, this won't be long, so you don't have to stay tuned for a really long time. But we do have a special giveaway that we're going to be talking about at the very end of this short episode. So listen to the end to get the instructions on how to participate in that. And it is time sensitive, so you've got to listen for the instructions and listen to the deadlines to participate. So, AJ, we talked about, as we were preparing for this, just one key thing that churches can do and pastors can do to get ready for 2021. And what is that one thing that they ought to be doing?
Yeah, that one thing is evaluation. This is a great time of year to be thinking about that. So we've got lots of cycles in the church, right? I mean, we've got from an administrative point of view, we have our fiscal cycle, which may or may not line up with the calendar year. We, of course, have got school cycles, September to May generally, or June. We've got, our major events of the year with Easter and Christmas. There's lots of rhythms in ministry, but the calendar year is inescapable. And I think might be even our biggest mental thing. I don't think we always consciously are thinking January to December. But I think we do. I think we at least do subconsciously. It's like, it's a new year. It's this freshness and anticipation.
Especially right now, AJ, with how hard 2020 was.
Yeah.
I think going into this year, people are really looking for a reset. And I think that the temptation, we were talking off air about this, AJ, the temptation is to want to just rush in to a new year and try new things, but you really can't make good decisions. You said this, I'm stealing your quote. You can't make good decisions without good information. Is that what you said?
I did. Yeah. We might have to make a meme out of that.
I think that's what you said. And it's absolutely true. You can't make good decisions without good information. And too few churches have too little good information, or the information they have is what we might call sort of above the waterline type information, right? We know what our attendance numbers are. We know what our giving numbers are. These sort of above the waterline, easy to notice things. What's harder to see, AJ, are those things that are subtext, that are nuanced, that are below the waterline, but are actually driving what you're seeing above the waterline. And so we often make decisions about our church and about our future based on the above the waterline factors without doing the deep dive. And the challenge, of course, is that you can't really get a hold of what's going on underneath the waterline without some sort of objective observer, or at least somewhat objective observer looking at those things for you and taking those pictures. So, so we want to help you with that. And we've talked about this a couple of times on the podcast, but we just want to briefly chat about the church ministry analysis and how we believe that can help your church evaluate the beneath the waterline things that it's just not possible for you to be able to see very clearly on your own. Now, we did an in-depth dive, AJ, on the kinds of things we're talking about when we talk about church health in episode 67. So in an effort to keep this episode really brief, I'll just point you back there. You can go back to malfersgroup.com/67, or if you're listening on on iTunes or something, just scroll back It would just be, I think, 3 episodes to episode 67, and listen to that episode about church health. But AJ, hit me with the high points of the kinds of things that we're looking at when we do a church ministry analysis with a church. What are the
Yeah.
factors? What are those beneath the waterline things that we're looking for?
Yeah, well, 6 things. We start with mission. So Great Commission mission has got to be the goalpost first and foremost, is
Right,
that
not just that you have a mission, but that you're actually effective at it.
making and maturing disciples of Jesus. That's what it's all about. And that's why, again, we want to talk about this today, a couple days before New Year's, because if you're not looking at 2021 and saying, how can I make more disciples of Jesus in 2021, go take a nap, pray about that a little bit, come back, and then let's have another conversation. So
Yeah.
I hope that's a goal for all of you listening, and starting off again with good information is going to be your greatest way to be productive at making and maturing disciples of Jesus. So great commission first and foremost, and then core values. What is motivating us to make decisions in these efforts every day? So really sitting down and considering, what is the motivation to do ministry, and what outcomes are we looking for as we move
Right.
into discipleship pathway? It's our third piece. So organizing the ministries of the church so that we are most productive. We've got to work on efficiency and outputs. Are people actually maturing in their faith? And is it pretty simple for them to do that? Do we have opportunities in the church that make it easy for people to become disciple makers themselves? Vision is our fourth piece. We've got to have this big God-sized goal sitting out there, something exciting. Does everybody in your church, do they have a feeling, whether it's specifically noted or written down, but can they just feel it? Could you have a conversation with somebody and be on the same page with, really generally speaking, where's the church going? And then the next piece is going to be strategies to get there. And so a lot of churches might have some of these other things, but they don't have a plan for accomplishing them. So having concrete strategies to achieve your vision and be on mission is important. And then finally, leadership. It all rises and falls on your ability to lead your church through these things, to be effective, and to
And the
have
culture of leadership that you have beyond just you.
Oh gosh, we can't overstate that. And every church that we work with that has found themselves in a season or numerous seasons of flat or decline, it really comes back to how has the leadership handled the church and driven the church. And so you just can't overstate that, the necessity of great leadership and decision making in the church. That's going to start with you today, whether you want to put these things out in front of you as your goals for 2021. We really hope that you do.
Yeah, one of the things I want to just point out and go, well, I feel like I could assess those things myself, those 6 things, and you can to a degree, but you're going to have your perspective is going to be very biased, because you're invested in these things. You maybe are the one who wrote the mission statement, or you want to believe that you're living out sort of discipleship oriented core values, but there may be some factors that you're subconsciously ignoring or suppressing that's causing dysfunction,
blind spots,
and overriding those things. Or your discipleship pathway may or may not be clear, but you might have a real commitment to the ministries and the things that you've decided to do because you want to believe that they're good and effective because you've been working on them for maybe the last decade. So it's not that you can't look at these factors. You can, of course, but your perspective is going to be limited and biased because of your relationship to them. And so it's very helpful to have an outside observer looking at these 6 different components and giving you an objective assessment of how things are going right now in your church, because these are the 6 components, these foundations of church health: mission, core values, discipleship pathway, vision, strategy, and leadership. If you have these things really working together, you're going to be a healthy church. If there's dysfunction in any one of these things, it's going to affect the other 5.
Right.
So we want to help you with that. And this is not a sales pitch. It's just it is a little bit of a sales pitch. I want to just be frank with you. But it's not one in which we stand to gain a lot of money. So a big shift that we've made at the end of 2020 going into 2021, AJ, is this used to be a service that we provided for churches that cost over $1,000. It was expensive and time consuming. It's still time consuming, but it's no longer expensive. We're offering this service to churches for $99. One thing I want to focus on here, AJ, is that this is not like most church health assessments that you take, where you as the pastor fill out some questions and then you automatically get spit back out to you an automatically generated report by a computer.
Yeah.
We work with you from the very beginning through an onboarding meeting to create a survey group. It's not a church-wide survey either, because those don't work. We work with you to create a survey group, kind of send you all the materials that you need to fill out as a group. You fill those things out, you send it back. We hand write all of our reports, AJ. So when you see the analysis portions in the report, they were written by a guide, sat down and wrote them. It wasn't spit out by some algorithm. And then the recommendations that we make for you are recommendations for your specific church with your specific challenges that are ahead of you. And then we meet with you. We meet with you and your leadership team for an hour remotely to answer questions, to talk through the report and go through all that. So from beginning to end, it's a relational process, AJ, and it's just $99. And the reason it costs anything at all is because you need to have some skin in the game so that you follow through on sending out the surveys to your folks and show up for your meeting and all of that. But it's a lot of hours of work for us, AJ, and you know, and that $99 is going to our organization. It's not even going to any of us specifically. So
yeah, and the reason that it's not as expensive as it used to be is because we're a nonprofit ministry, and the faithfulness of our donors, believing in our mission and vision, has allowed this to happen. And
that's
so
right.
We're passing that on to you, and we're excited about that, because this is some fulfillment of vision in our own ministry, trying to live out our own processes and philosophies, and so, you know, we had our eyes on a goal, and we've not reached it. It's still, we've got big things coming, and we'll be excited to tell you more about that in the coming weeks and months of 2021. But for now, this is something that we are able to do, and we're super excited to be able to bring it to you. So it's going to be available now to one of you at no cost whatsoever. We're going to randomly draw.
Here, we just said it costs $99, so you'll follow through. But for one lucky person,
that's right,
it's not even going to cost you $99. Yeah, it's going to cost you nothing. It's going to be a giveaway. So the thing that you have to do in order to get this, the work you have to put into it, is you gotta register. So AJ, how can people participate in this giveaway for the church ministry analysis service?
It is easy. Get out the old email and send it to leadership@malfersgroup.com.
MALPHURS, for anybody who doesn't know how to spell Malfers.
There you go. It's the PH. So send an email to leadership@malfersgroup.com. In the subject line, put CMA giveaway. CMA, by the way, stands for Church Ministry Analysis. Church Ministry Analysis. Put CMA giveaway in the subject line. In the body of that message, we just need to know who you are. Just give us your name, the name of your church, and what your position is there. If you're just a volunteer, great, put volunteer. I don't even want to say just a volunteer. If you are volunteer, put in volunteer. Otherwise, just give us what your title is. So that's it. We just want to know who it is that we're talking to, and we're going to collect these and announce our winner next week on the podcast in episode 71. You have until January 4th, Monday, January 4th by midnight, to send that email to us, and we will randomly select one of them on Tuesday. We record these typically on Tuesdays, and we will be set then to announce who the winner is, and you'll find out next week.
That's right. So you should be hearing this as early as December 30th. So that gives you less than a week to fill this out. email to leadership@malfirstgroup.com. Subject line, CMA giveaway, your name, the name of your church, your position in the church, whatever it is. We'll put them in a spreadsheet and we'll use a random name generator to keep it as fair as we can. There's no other way for us to do that. We can't wait to announce a winner next week. And so we just want you to think, even if you don't do the CMA, okay, with us, do some sort of evaluation.
Yeah.
I was just this morning, AJ, we'll end with this. I was just this morning scrolling through on my Facebook feed, and a pastor who I'm friends with on Facebook was posted a couple pictures of he lives in Minnesota, I think, and posted a couple pictures of a cabin in the woods that he was going off to for a couple of days. That it looked like it didn't even have running water or anything. Looks miserable to me, but he was excited because he was spending a couple of days reflecting and evaluating his goals and looking forward to the future. So even if you're not going to be doing a church ministry analysis with us, do something to evaluate so you have good information to make good decisions.
Do it. Go into 2021 assured that it will be your greatest disciple-making year in ministry yet. You have the potential, and the time is now. Don't hesitate. Hey, thanks for being with us. This has been episode 70 of the Church Revitalization Podcast. And
no show notes this week so that you can focus on sending us an email.
Here you go. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week.
Bye.